Hi, my name is Peter and I'm making this video for two reasons. The first one is to say thank you to Dr. Yu, who's my Chinese acupuncturist and herbalist, and the second one, although not the least one, is to help anybody else who is suffering or has suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome. I haven't made one of these videos before, so I've got some notes here, so if you see me looking down to one side, you know what I'm doing. I've been off work for about 3 months, which doesn't sound a lot to probably a lot of people who suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome, but for me, who's never been off for that long before, it was a lifetime. And I was just getting worse and worse, and I was at the end of my tether really, because I got less and less energy and less focus, and my life was slipping away. I'd been to see my GP, and he wasn't much help, to be honest. He was very helpful in terms of comfort and support, but he didn't really have any treatment to offer me. Tried a course of antidepressants, and they didn't do anything at all in terms of helping me to understand what was going on, or made me feel a bit different, but didn't actually help me get better. So I did quite a bit of research, and I looked at 4 areas of my life. I looked at my diet, and I tweaked some things in my diet. I looked at my exercise routine, and I didn't really have an exercise routine at that stage, but what I was trying to do was probably a bit too much, so I slimmed away from that. I also looked at my mental attitude, and to be honest, I couldn't have been more keen to get back to a normal life, as I think most people will actually realise. There's no joy in suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, and finding that all the things that you enjoy in life you really can't do. And the fourth one was treatment options. I knew that the NHS actually has two recommended treatment options. One is a graded exercise therapy, and the second is cognitive behavioural therapy. I chatted with my GP about the CBT thing, and he said it wasn't relevant, and I agreed with him. And I also I tried the graded exercise therapy thing, and it only works if you can do some stuff. And I summarised it as do a bit, and then when you feel a bit better, do a bit more. Which I couldn't do. I couldn't do hardly anything. I then investigated alternative therapies, and I looked at all sorts of different things. I looked at a course on the lightning process. I had a couple of long chats and nearly went on that, but eventually I decided that I couldn't actually manage the train journey, and I wasn't convinced it was the right thing for me at that point in time. I also did a few different things, some of which were quite nice, but none of them which I actually felt were helping me. And then I decided to do some Chinese acupuncture, and I found Dr. Yu at Herbs and Acupuncture in Salemoor in Manchester. I'll put the website address in the video. The first day I saw him, he was really supportive and understanding. And he said straight away, after examining me and talking to me and doing that thing that they do, he said he definitely could help me, which made me feel quite happy, but also that it would take a while. And the fact that he told me it would take a while was in itself reassuring. So I then embarked on a course of acupuncture and herbs. And the acupuncture, I mean, the needle thing is no big deal because they're so fine you hardly feel them. In fact, once I'd done it once or twice, then I generally dozed through the half-an-hour acupuncture session. But I started immediately. I had that first session. I stopped getting worse, which in itself is a fantastic thing. And after a couple of weeks, I started to get better, and one of the things that I did, I'm an accountant by trade, so I'm naturally numbers orientated. I started to log different aspects of my health as to how they were doing. So I looked at my mental concentration and gave that a grading out of 10. I looked at my mental stamina and gave that a ranking out of 10. And I also looked at my physical stamina and gave that a ranking out of 10. And if I noticed that I stopped getting worse almost immediately, and within a couple of weeks my mental focus started to improve. So that originally I could read the first paragraph of the morning paper, but I couldn't remember the beginning of that first paragraph, so that's scary. especially for somebody in my job and who's used to sort of doing a lot of reading and understanding and doing précis of things. So within a few weeks I was able to read the front page of the paper and the back page, which as a sports fan is really important. So that was really reassuring. I couldn't do it for long, but then a few weeks longer, the length of time which I could actually read things increased from maybe a few minutes to maybe 20 minutes, and then it started to pick up and I could read for maybe 30 or 40 minutes. Not massive by most people's normal standards, but pretty good also. And then the last thing that picked up was the physical side of things. And I went from being I could walk down the stairs in the morning, but if I wanted to walk back up again, I had to wait probably until later in the afternoon. It sounds horrendous, doesn't it? And for a lot of people who are watching this, it's not horrendous at all. But if you're used to a normal life, then that is a scary place to be. And that my physical side of things, I wouldn't say that I'm perfect at the moment, but I am a million miles ahead of where I was. And 3 weeks ago, I returned to work on a part-time basis, and work has been really helpful. And I am gradually getting back into doing my job. I can drive to work. I can do a couple of hours a day, and I can drive home again. So, to anybody who's watching this, I would say be cynical by all means, because life is about assessing different treatments. If you don't, I would say try different things. Try this, try it for 6 weeks, and monitor yourself and see if you feel like you are getting better or not getting worse. And if you are, fantastic. If you're not, well, stop it and try something else. All I would say to everybody who's watching this video is a very sincere good luck and thank you. If you like this video or if you found it helpful, then please rate it or comment it, and feel free to link it to anywhere else. Thank you. Just as a postscript to the video, I just want to say that just in case anybody has any concerns, I am in no way connected or related to Dr. Yu at Herbs and Acupuncture. These are entirely my views, and he doesn't even know I'm doing this podcast, but I'll probably tell him later this week. Thank you, and good luck with whatever you try.